Ah, that feeling. There's nothing like it, is there? The start of a new football season. You've got the fresh kits, the big money signings, and that feeling in the air that just maybe this is going to be your team's year. But what if I told you that buried inside all that excitement, there's a pattern, a secret that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time?
So let's ask the question outright. Is there a genuine secret hiding in the data of opening day football? That's exactly what we're going to explore. We're about to dig into a full decade of data from Europe's biggest leagues, and what we found is a trend that most fans, and yeah, even the betting markets, seem to miss year after year.
And here it is. No need to wait. The big secret is the first matches of the season are consistently, and I mean consistently, lower scoring. This isn't just a gut feeling or a coincidence, it's a cold, hard, statistical fact. And the proof is, well, kind of overwhelming. Just look at this. We're talking about the top 5 European leagues over a 10-year span, which covers more than 950 opening round matches. And the pattern is just undeniable. It doesn't matter if it's the Premier League, La Liga, or Serie A, every single one of them sees a clear drop in goals on opening weekend compared to the rest of the season.
When you crunch all those numbers and average it all out, it boils down to this: 11%. Opening matches see an 11% decrease in goals scored. That is a huge and incredibly reliable dip. Just lock that number in your head for a second.
And here's what that 11% drop actually looks like. You don't need to be a math whiz to see the difference here. The season average sits at about 2.8 goals per game, but for those first matches, it plummets to 2.48. Now that might not sound like a massive leap, but trust me, in the world of football stats and probability, that's a chasm.
Okay. So we've got the what nailed down. But let's be honest, the really interesting part is the why, right? Why are all these elite teams with their world-class strikers suddenly finding it harder to hit the back of the net right when the season kicks off? Turns out, it's not just one thing. It's a perfect storm of factors.
So, this early season goal drought really comes down to 4 main culprits. First, you've got tactical caution. No manager wants to get embarrassed in the first game. Second, player fitness. They're just not at their peak sharpness yet. Third, you've got the refs, who tend to be a bit more lenient early on. And finally, don't forget the weather. In a lot of these leagues, the August heat literally slows the pace of the game down.
That tactical caution point is a big one. It really creates 2 totally different mindsets. In match week 1, everything is conservative. The main goal is to simply not lose. Teams are trying out new players, new formations. Compare that to the middle of the season. When teams have found their rhythm, they've got an attacking flow, and they're willing to take smart, calculated risks. Honestly, it's like they're playing 2 completely different games. And this is where things get really, really interesting. Because this consistent, predictable trend creates a major blind spot. The betting markets, you see, often set their odds using stats from the entire previous season. That means they tend to systematically overestimate how many goals are going to be scored in these opening games.
So what do you do with that information? Well, it points to a very specific strategy. If you're not familiar with it, betting the under is super simple. It just means you're placing a bet that the total number of goals scored by both teams will be less than a certain number, which is often 2.5. So if a game ends 1-0, 0-0, or even 1-1, an under 2.5 bet is a winner. And look, the source material says it perfectly. Acting on this trend isn't about superstition or some vague gut feeling. It is, quote, not a matter of superstition or anecdotal wisdom, but a statistically grounded strategy. The numbers don't lie. They've been pointing in the same direction for a decade.
Let's make this real with a quick case study. Take the 2023-24 Premier League season. It actually ended up being the highest scoring season in the league's entire history, finishing with a wild average of 3.28 goals per game. But guess how it started? Match week 1 saw an average of just 2.70 goals. Even in a year where goals were absolutely flying in, the opening weekend effect was still there, clear as day. So let's just tie this all together into a simple, logical process. It's really just 4 steps. 1, you see the opening week fixtures. 2, you remember that historical 11% dip in goals. 3, you realize the market has probably set the goal line too high. And so 4, you see that betting the under isn't just a random punt, It's a rational choice, completely backed by data.
And really, that's the whole point. This isn't just about betting strategy, it's about seeing the game in a new light, understanding these hidden rhythms. So the next time you're settling in for that first match of the season, all hyped up and expecting a 4-3 thriller, maybe you'll think back to this data. So let me ask you, now that you've seen the numbers, will you ever watch Match Week 1 the same way again?